Hey, this is Clark with Pass the Baton, where we think ministry is a relay, not a marathon. Now, the thought today, which I'm doing this video, it's the weekend before Thanksgiving. I had kind of Thanksgiving on my mind a little bit, but the purpose or the importance of being thankful or of Thanksgiving. And was looking at the story of in Luke chapter 17 of the 10 lepers, which a lot of people are familiar with this story, but 9 of them never came back to give thanks. Jesus heals them. There's 10 lepers. They shout out to him as he's in between Samaria and Galilee, and they want him to save them or to heal them, and he does. But in doing this, he kind of, and I'm going to summarize or paraphrase or bring a lot of this together, and then I got one big main point I want to bring out here. But essentially, these people are in between Samaria and Galilee. It says in the midst, as you're reading through Luke chapter 17, starting about verse 11 there. And it says he sends them off. He says, go to the priest. The priest had to say that they were cleansed. The priest had to be the one to proclaim them as cleansed. In the Old Testament, you have a whole chapter, Leviticus chapter 14, that's dedicated to that, to leprosy. It's like 57 verses. So there's more Bible actually dedicated to leprosy than a lot of doctrines that we teach as major doctrines in a sense. But in Leviticus, it talks a lot about this. So they have to go to the priest in order to be determined clean. Jesus tells them to do this, and it says, as they went, they were cleansed. So they literally were not healed before they started walking. They started walking, and they were healed as they started walking, according to this verse. And 9 of them apparently just keep going. I don't know if they go to the priest. I really don't know. We're not told exactly what they do, but one of them turns around to Jesus and gives him thanks. Looking at this as the passage here, it says, and as one of them he saw that he was healed, turned back with a loud voice, glorified God, and he fell down on his face at his feet, giving him thanks, and he was a Samaritan, which it's a big point, I believe, that Luke's trying to bring out here, is that this was a foreigner. And Jesus literally says, only this foreigner or this stranger, as the King James puts it, returned to give thanks. And so as you get to the end of this context, of this little story that they're trying to tell, it says, and he said to him, arise, go thy way, thy faith hath made thee whole. So I'm trying to say here that I believe there's more to this than the physical healing, this giving of thanks. He healed all of them. It says, as they went on their way, they were cleansed. And that term is used in the Greek. It basically means that they were cleansed of defilement. It literally, if you look up in the Strong's, it says a lot of times this is used as of a leper who's been cleansed. They were healed of their sickness, of their leprosy. All of them. But only the one who returns to give thanks was made whole, as Jesus put it. And that's King James. I think in ESV it says was made well. You'll see some other terms if you look in different translations. But that word, now, we could argue that this means he was saved, and honestly, there's probably a good reason to argue that. I believe this man acknowledged that Jesus healed him. He went to him, and he gave thanks to Jesus, who healed him. He was acknowledging that he was the one who had healed him. So possibly we could say, and I'm not trying to argue that this is not just about salvation. That word in the King James is translated made whole is often translated as saved. Even in Luke's gospel at another point it says Jesus Christ came to seek and to save that which was lost. It's the same term. In Romans it says, whosoever shall call upon the name of the Lord shall be saved. It's the same term. But the term's also used of someone who's been healed of a physical problem in different places in Scripture. It's easy to look it up if you have a Strong's or just a computer program where you can see the Strong's term. At least that's what I typically do when I'm trying to look into a word. And so it's easy to see that it can be used in other ways as well. So, yes, I think it's possible. And listen, I want you, as you're listening to this, number one, I want you to look at this. Look at this text. Look at it. Who's writing this is Luke, who is a physician. So he understands about physical healing, no doubt. He understands all these things more than the rest of them. And that's why you see this story here and not quite so much anywhere else. But Luke, he's writing this. Look at it. Tell me what you think. Put it in the comments of the YouTube. But what I'm trying to say here is I think there's more to it than just the physical. And I'm not so sure. I wouldn't be dogmatic on saying that it's specifically talking about Jesus said, you're saved, you're going to heaven now. Although I think that could be part of it. But I'm trying to say that giving thanks opens up so much more that will make you whole. And I was just looking at secular sources about this, and I actually looked at something called positivity.psychology.com, and it was talking about being thankful and what it can do. And there's so many other sources out there that say this, but these are just logical, common sense things that you can come to, I think, in some ways about being thankful. But this is some of the things they said. It says being thankful can make you happier. It can increase your psychological well-being, increases your self-esteem, increases friends, because you being thankful, you're going to increase your friendships. You're going to increase even your, no doubt, your romantic life in a sense. If you're married, even being thankful for that will help in so many ways. It will make you more a better spouse by being thankful. But even physically, it says that being thankful, and you can find this in other sources as well, but it says can decrease depression, decrease your blood pressure if you're having problems with your blood pressure. Well, they've done some studies on this. I'm not sure how they can say with 100% assurity that all these things are happening, but people have studied this that are smarter than me. So to increase your sleep and increase your overall physical health because you're thankful. So what I am saying here, that when Jesus says will make you whole, I think there's something about being thankful that will just increase so many things about you to make you a better person, to make you someone, just being thankful, to understand. And literally as a Christian, I think we understand, or at least I understand it, being thankful to God because of what he has done. And I'm thankful that he sent his son, Jesus Christ. Because he died, I can have life and have it more abundantly, and I'm thankful for that. But just being thankful, it does so much to your physical, your emotional health, your spiritual health. It will make you whole. It's not just the physical, but if your physical is good, if you have been healed physically, then surely mentally you would be thankful. Even if you don't believe in God, you would have to be thankful, and in your mind be like, man, I'm glad that I feel this way. But being thankful, what is it? Not the psalmist, but Solomon says, the spirit of man will sustain his infirmities, but a wounded spirit who can bear? And I believe that having the spirit of thankfulness will increase your, as I've just read about from Psychology Today, you won't be as depressed, you won't be as down, you won't be as apt to not have friends, and it will just increase your physical health and so many things as well. I know this is kind of a little bit not so much a biblical study, but I want those that are listening to understand the importance of being thankful, and how Jesus even said that, yes, we should be thankful. Let me know what you think. Put your comments down in the YouTube box and under the comments. Let me know what you think. If you disagree, you agree. But until next time.